All you need is the robe.
Girl, white shirts and blue skirts. You know they ain't let us
Oh,
have no robes
little
in
kids.
school.
Oh, yeah, that's school.
We had cheap school.
Okay.
We had to have that white shirt.
It's okay.
Nowadays they got the robe and nothing on underneath.
What school you go to?
I'm talking about church. Think about school.
Duh. What church you go to?
Well, it does get hot up there.
Sister Jezebel.
It get hot under them lights.
Shit like this.
Yeah. It get hot under them lights. Okay.
What's that string up her butt?
No, we're not. We're so not. And on other news today, right?
Inquiring minds.
Wants to know.
Because that's
all the
what
time.
young people do. They ask questions.
Yeah, they
And
Google
if you
questions.
don't provide the answer, they're going to get an answer.
Some way or
somehow.
another, they will
That's right.
find a way. We have
They
to
will
research
get
it
an
the
answer.
old-fashioned way.
Right.
Yes, kids just
remember
talking
back
to
in
their
the day,
phones.
We had the encyclopedia. We were rich folk.
Oh,
We
you had
the
the
encyclopedia.
set.
We
Yes.
had fucking waggles.
Yes.
Still got my
Yes, they
came
did
to the
you
house
sell 'em.
to study and stuff
Yes.
or whatever. I'm talking about like the kids around the block and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They would come and study at my house because we had the
Wow.
encyclopedia.
Let me
Couldn't tell
you.
us nothing.
My
Yes.
parents got Funk and Wagnalls. We didn't even get Britannica.
Who didn't get Britannica?
We didn't get Britannica.
Oh, but Britannica even put you on a payment plan.
We
That
got.
was up.
My daddy don't do payments plans. He's gonna come straight out the pocket.
Got it.
So we ended up with Funk and Wagnalls. Can I tell you, I've been out of school 25 years and they still got Funk and Wagnalls.
In the
And when the
bookshelf?
grandkids get ready to learn, my dad be like, "Go no, I got a book." No.
No.
First of all,
Nixon is probably still the president.
Yes.
It's like history stopped.
Yes.
Right
Yes. It
there.
did not
Y'all
expand.
don't have no other presidents.
Oh. And I asked my parents, I'm like some of this stuff, it's never going to be relevant ever
Yes,
again.
that's true.
Like, I had a friend who has a
times always
mom who
changing.
has from 8 tracks to turntables.
Wow.
Like literally, and very immaculate, very
Yeah, I
neat.
believe it.
You could walk through a time warp in their basement. But how will you even play them again?
Yes, that's like
if they're worth
VHSs.
anything, sell them to some record shop for hell.
It has
matter
to
of
come.
fact,
It has to come with the whole package.
crap.
Yeah.
Forget that.
yeah,
You can take that to TGI Fridays. You can take a Cracker Barrel. They hang all kind of crap up from.
That's
old
very
school.
true.
Like you
That's very
can do
true.
something with it, but I'm like,
I mean,
and what
the world
that
is
really
just
frustrates
changing.
me because these people are getting older. I love my parents, but as they get older, and they don't throw stuff away, you know who they're gonna
Yeah, you're gonna have
turn?
to.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
I always ask my dad, like, your fire insurance up? Because I don't even smoke. But that day,
Don't do it. Don't do it, Miss Seeley. Don't do
take out
it.
everything that is a collectible. Now, they have some fine
good ones,
art.
yes.
They've got some art and pieces. And
Yes.
I'm never going to do that. But them Funk and Wagnalls.
Don't
I
do
feel
it,
like we
Miss
should go
Seeley.
on that
Don't do
Texas
it.
Road Show thing where they take them to the appraising place and be like, well, I found this at a yard sale, and then come to
Yeah,
find
that's
out
true.
it's like
$50 million.
not no Funk and Wagnalls. Let me look up Funk and Wagnalls.
I never
Right
even
now.
heard it was Britannica or nothing.
Honey.
Wow.
So you know how cheap my daddy was if he found Funk and Wagnalls.
Well, you know, let's
They
say
like the-
frugal.
It's like Funkadelic.
It's like, and literally,
Frugal.
and because my
He was
mom
frugal.
was a minister, we used to be like, Mom, where the Funk and Wagnalls at? You ain't gotta say it like that.
Y'all was sneaking it in. It's always them
Where
church
the Funk and
girls.
Wagnalls?
Always them
What you
church
doing? Look at that
girls.
Funk and Wagnalls. Just say you
That-
studying.
But you know, my dad has an immaculate collection of records. He really
now
does.
that,
He
that
really
will
does.
always be a necessity.
Just don't let the what do you call them? What you play them on?
Turntables.
Just don't let them go bad.
Oh no, he keeps them.
Because
they ain't gonna fix them.
He cleaned them. He makes sure the needle is right, and he plays them. I mean, really good records, originals, like just nice, and a plethora of music. Like really a plethora of music, and you know, it drives my mom crazy because you know,
I can see.
we went from records to CDs, and now you just
Download.
You just download. Okay, rest in peace, Napster. But
Yes.
You know?
I remember Napster.
It's crazy, and then he holds on to them, and I don't know where the balance is of letting things go.
What's that app
so
when you
sad.
hear a song and I have it on my phone. What's that?
Oh, when the song is playing and they can tell you what it is.
Shazam.
Yes.
Can you Shazam
An
an album like
play.
back in the day?
I would see why you wouldn't, because
It's the
Old
sound.
school song
It attracts
is
the beat.
still,
It's
yeah.
not what it's coming from. Like it's actually taking on the beat.
But I guess they gotta have it in a memory bank someplace
But I'm
to be able to pull it up.
Right, because
Yes.
I've looked
But
at
I
songs.
figured that they would start it at some point. They ain't putting in their system a 1920 song maybe.
They are.
Ooh, Elephant
Because now there's songs that I've looked up and it'll say, do you want to add? So you can add that song
okay.
to their database. They do whatever on their end, but once I've looked it up, then they'll say, Shazam
what
is
this
now.
is. What is it?
Right.
Yes.
Sounds
You tell
familiar
us.
to look
Yes.
up. Wait, so I had to look it up. So Funk and Wagnalls were first of all established in 1875.
Okay.
Lord.
And then the first
British are coming.
volume.
Yeah.
25. They only had 25 volumes, and the first edition came out in 1912.
But there's
I am going
26
to
letters.
go home and find out what edition was mine, because they ain't showing me nothing past 1893. Matter of fact, my Funk and Wagnalls might be worth something.
Girl, you better talk to your parents.
Y'all finish the show. I'm finna go to my mama's house.
I'm gonna get
Remember them
paid.
books? I think I will take them, Mom. I'll hold on to them for you.
I'm like, you know what? We're doing a project at the radio station. Can I get these? Do you want them back? No. Keep them since they go.
Yeah.
Pull up in a Tesla, because I done sold a Funk and Wagnalls.
That we were
And
making fun of
that's
you
one
for.
edition.
Yeah. You know, we were coming
This is the
for
first
it.
edition.
You know. Yes. I mean, and just that point of just reference, and we researched things.
We did.
We had to patiently take it out, write it down. Okay,
Yes.
because, and if you had a typewriter, you had a typewriter?
Right.
Okay, I didn't even have a typewriter. My older sister had a typewriter.
typewriter.
You had to take the time to type it in, get that paper looking really nice.
Yes.
For your works cited page.
I was just about to say
That's
you
right.
work site,
I
reference.
mean, it
Don't
was,
let you have to go to the periodicals.
oh my
'Cause then that
goodness.
was all
What was that
film
machine
and
that
the
you had to
machine
turn?
and you had to magnify it.
Yes.
That was their archiving
Yes,
system.
my daughter
Yes.
would never know the struggle.
I feel like we should have an old school versus new school and put our young millennials into a time warp classroom where they have to figure out, like,
Wow,
like you get the
yes.
calculator with the roll paper in it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
tell them to do the math that way.
Yes.
And tell them to look up something, and I bring my Funk and Wagnall encyclopedia. And they have to do it.
Just give them a task. You need to photocopy.
Oh,
So,
my
Remember back in the day?
The
Now
Rizzo.
you press a button. Now you have to turn it, and it had the little duplicating paper. in it.
Wow, you get that
Yes.
ink
You have to put the ink on
everywhere.
it. Yes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
that's how you duplicate
Can you
stuff.
imagine
Wow.
if you go in your classroom, you pull out, what was that, projector?
Yes,
Where
the
you
overhead
the
projector.
transparency, the transparency
Yes.
where you write
That's right.
on it and
Yes.
it projects
Projects.
right there.
Yeah, true story. The internet went out at my school one day, and you would have thought
The
it
world
was
was coming to the end.
That's exactly what happened. The kids like, oh, we ain't gotta do no work. I said, oh no, Miss Bryan grew up old school. Grab the books, wipe them off. We doing it. Went straight to.
Wipe 'em off.
We still got it. Now we don't have chalkboards anymore. At all. Like, my
got
daughter
whiteboards?
have never seen a chalkboard. We have
Wow.
whiteboards.
Right,
So we
right,
had our lesson right on the whiteboard. I had a teacher, what we gonna do, Miss Bryan? I said, oh, we working. I don't know what y'all doing. We working over here.
Right.
But it was amazing when that internet went down, or when the power goes out, how dependent
That's right.
They are.
we are. You know, just when we had the tornadoes come through here in
Right.
Charlotte, my school lost power.
Yep.
A teacher came in to try to heat her food up in the microwave and was like, why isn't this working? And I was just like,
Like,
was
could
like,
be electricity.
yes.
But like, rub your hands together real fast and hold it over your
And,
plate.
you know, I did. She was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so you know." I ain't put her down or anything, but I was just like,
Oh, okay.
"Okay."
Light bulb on, so all the lights are out,
Yeah.
clearly. All the lights
As
are
students
out.
trying to sharpen pencil, honey.
Right,
The
that's not
electricity.
easy
That's
as
not
that.
how you're gonna have to use that.
Yes.
My niece is 6 years old, and we were doing something, and she was like, "Why are they putting the pictures in the water?" And I was like, "What?" And I had to look and see what she was doing. I was like, "So, let's have a conversation about before cell phones, when people took pictures. Literally,
and had to develop them in the black room,
dark room,
the dark room, yes."
And it was fascinating for her to listen, but her being 6, she really needed to see it in action. So I had to take her to YouTube and like, okay, look at this. We were at my nephew's last basketball game, and he did a dunk like, ugh.
Wow.
All the nieces, all the nephews, all the aunts and uncles out there, ain't nobody catch it. And those of us that were started jumping, so we literally, like the fast break, you miss it. But there was a guy at the very top, and he had your old school camcorder where you put the hands in it. And he was recording it.
Was it the full size VHS?
It was the full. No, it wasn't the VHS. It was just a regular.
The small one.
digital,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it had a little flip out thing and stuff. So I was like, I went up there, befriended him. I was like, so.
You befriended him?
I did, because I had no idea who this stranger was. And he was
I'm gonna get that footage.
And he was not from Wakanda, so I didn't want to just come up like, yo. So I started talking to him everything, and he was like, oh yeah, I saw that dunk, but I'm actually here recording for the other school, so I'm gonna delete that part. I was like, no. So we exchanged information, so he's gonna send it to me. My other sister was like, did he give it to you? And I was like, no, it's on the camcorder. She's like, oh, okay. Did it come yet? Like, let me check it out.
That's not how this works.
That's not a camera phone. That's a camcorder.
Yeah,
I literally went to the concession stand and came back in. She was like, he sent it. I'm like, I'll let you know when it came through. Maybe, it might be my signal. Like, let me just help you out. It might just be my signal.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to reboot. Let me reboot my phone.
You said reboot, though. Yes.
Let me reboot my phone.
But that's amazing. The greatest thing that I can do with my students is just share some old school stuff.
Right.
We watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in my classroom. This was after the EOGs, okay?
Yeah.
After the EOGs. And it's
Was
still
not part of the lesson
science,
plan.
yes. And the day after tomorrow. And they were like, Ms. Bryan, why? What is she on? It was a rotary phone.
Yes.
And the kids were like, what's that squiggly thing coming out of it? I said, that's the wires, yes.
Yeah.
And then the young man had to use a pay phone. Ms. Bryan, what's that? That's a pay phone. Why is it so big? I said, that's what we had. You got to put money in it.
Right.
And so they equated that to your pay-as-you-go plan on your cell phone. And I was just like, that's not quite, but if you can make that connection, you put quarters in. But, even with the power, I told them, when the power was out, you could still call people.
That's
you
right.
could still get your
you
phone,
could do that.
hide in your closet,
Yeah.
and talk
Call
to your
911.
friends.
Yeah.
And then
As
your
long
mom
as
would...
it wasn't a cordless phone. You couldn't do that with
yes,
a cordless phone.
but when you had the cord in, yes, because that's how your mom found you and found her phone. Because
that long
follow the
back.
cord. Yes, or get off the phone. I need to use the internet.
Right.
That was when AOL.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
didn't
With the
understand it.
handshake.
Yes. They'll never
Okay, we're connected.
know the struggle. Yes.
Yeah.
Never know
I
the
remember when my
struggle.
kids wanted
idea.
a cell phone, and that's when they were just coming out, and they had the bag phones.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I had the bag phone because that's when they just come out or whatever. So my kids later on were asking for a cell phone. I'm like, I got one for you.
He went and pulled that.
I went, I
did
dusted
not.
off, I brought them the bag phone,
did
and
not.
they were like,
What is
this?
that?
It's like, it's a cell phone. It's portable.
Like,
All you need is all you need is an ashtray.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
They said, forget it. Forget it. We don't need it.
Right.
Yes.
They're like, you want us to be bullied, don't you?
I took
You want to get beat up.
my nieces and nephew to New York City for a day. It was after Christmas, and that was my Christmas present to them. They walked up to a payphone, and it was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Read it." Like, I recorded them sitting around reading, and it was like, and I was like, "Don't put it to your ear."
Yeah, no,
So,
oh,
like,
gosh,
don't do
no.
that. And it was like, so I can call mom, and my nephew was like, "Give me a quarter." First of all, I was a dummy. Like, it just cost a quarter, and he put it in, and it's like, "Please deposit $2.75." I was said, boy, you better hang up and call your mama and say, okay. What we not finna do is spend $3 when I got free all unlimited minutes.
Yes.
Who does this?
I got unlimited data.
People, right.
Wow.
All the homeless people manage making calls and ordering food when they got to use all of their
You
donations.
get one phone call. There you go. You got one phone
That
call.
was
Per week.
Yes.
but they
Per
were
week.
literally all taking pictures with the phone and stuff like that. And the hotel we stayed in was called the Paper Factory, and they had old books, the old red phone booth.
Oh.
You know, like everything in it was very nostalgic.
Nice.
They were head over heels in love. They were figuring out things, and it's if you're ever in New York City, stay at the Paper Factory. It's a wonderful hotel that was a paper factory and a paper mill. They turned it into a hotel. The center you would love is a huge column of books. Old books, and it goes from the top to the bottom. It's just like a big spiral.
Is it off the Hudson? I feel like a paper mill will be right off.
It's
the Hudson
probably
River.
it's more in the city.
Okay.
Like it took us probably like 20 minutes to get to the New York.
Got
Your
it.
main basic pieces and stuff.
Okay.
But it's in a great place. But it's wonderful. They had typewriters. Like the kids were like, oh my God, look at this, you know. And I was like, let me get you some paper. And it was the old school typewriter with the round buttons.
Oh,
Like it is way back. They had old games. They have like a whole board section, like the game room has old school pickup sticks.
Do they have
and
phonographs?
jacks, and they had what do you call them, prisms? Or is that what you call them? The little
where you can
where you can look prism. Yeah, where it's the tube kaleidoscopes.
Okay, yes.
They had kaleidoscopes.
Those are actually cool.
They had a phonograph,
Now we
but
got
you
the
could.
TVs on the.
Oh my goodness,
Right.
we
They
came
had
a
the
long
phonograph.
way.
They
Yes.
had a phonograph, but it was not to be played with. It was
Okay, I can see that.
It was there. Like
I can see that.
No, but all the other stuff that I felt like they could replace if something happened, it was right there. Those kids loved.
Did they have the old operators
That
there
place.
that plugged into stuff to connect the calls?
Oh,
No.
wow.
They actually didn't have regular phone service.
Wow. Was that a rotary phone? We had to go all around.
Yeah, they actually had the one that sit on the table that you pick up.
Nice.
That was there. None of that worked. They had one room that was like where you could sit and stuff, but it was all old suitcases.
Okay.
And they had used the suitcases to create tables and chairs and stuff.
But
it was like the old back in the Casablanca days, those little, you know, the way back and stuff. So it was, I didn't know. I knew it had history to it, but it wasn't until I got there that
you
I
really
was like,
amazed.
Old refrigerators, because they had a floor like where you could go and they had the old stove
With the ice
with
box for the
old kitchen.
refrigerators.
They had the potbelly stove. Like none of that worked, but you know you can go in and see and explain. So before they had electric stoves, they had to get wood and they had to get
put
coal.
it in the bottom.
They had to do that. The iron was an iron.
The iron, like
It was just metal iron.
You can't plug it in.
They had a little thing where you put it for the heat, and then you rub it across the clothes. So I think most kids would die, but mine were younger, so they appreciated it and everything.
Wow. All they need is some old school candy, Boston baked bean, Chico sticks.
Yeah, they didn't have any snacks and stuff
Big
like
old
that.
honey.
Right.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Well, what was that? Sugar daddies.
Sugar daddies. You want to talk about a dentist's dream?
Get some sugar daddies.
Oh my goodness.
Alexander the grapes. Those are mine too.
Yes, I couldn't do good and plenty though.
No, I cannot. That was licorice flavor. The purple, black, and white ones.
Yes, my uncle loved them, and I was just give me Mike and Ike.
I like Goobers.
Those
are chocolate covered peanuts.
Yes, the Raisinets.
I didn't like raisins.
Yes, but I don't understand why they would consider that. People in the movie theater like, what is that?
So
what is that?
Such a
I
lady.
sure did. I suck all the chocolate out of it.
I'm glad you weren't my student.
How can they get in contact with you or listen to your broadcast?
On Saturday mornings, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Excellent.
Family, you've been tuning in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media.
The voice of the community.
Awesome.
Yay. Thank you so much for this
Good old
experience.
days.
I know. I know. And I only know those candies because my grandmother would send me to the bodega. Melly, give me some